it's time to go to school and deep dive into every single ingredient from one of the Wild deodorants, and this will give us a really good idea of what is within these products, why each ingredient is in, what it does for our skin, which to watch out for, and which I like the sound of. Myself, I'm a trained beauty therapist, and I've also worked in the skincare industry for 10 years. So if my videos have brought you to this channel, I do a lot of content on many topics, but this is one that I get asked every so often, especially when it comes to those who have had an allergic reaction or their skin just isn't really loving the formula. This is something seen industry-wide for everything. We're all human beings. We all have a different makeup. So I'm going to really nitpick this formula of one of them that I'm going to choose, which is really like one of their classics. I'm not going to do, for example, this is the one that I'm currently using, which is the Sugar Plum Fairy one, still from winter and Christmas. I really did like it. The one I chose to focus on was the coconut and vanilla, because this is really the most I've seen in store, online, on reviews, and it's a real classic that isn't going anywhere, or so I believe, not like the limited edition ones. So let's get started. Not to be a cliffhanger or anything, but there is one ingredient at the end that I'll talk about that usually I think, be careful with this one, and I'll explain exactly why. But until then, imagine this as a newsroom. I'm here just to share what everyone's asking me about. Right, the first ingredient is capric triglyceride, which is the most present in this formula because it's at the top, remember that. This is a silky, lightweight hydrator from coconut oil that helps to soften the skin. Next is tapioca starch. This helps to soak up oil and sweat, leaving the skin more matte and smooth. When you've applied this and you run your fingers over your underarms, you'll notice that it has that kind of smooth, matted, almost like a makeup primer feel. The next ingredient is sterile alcohol, and this is a fatty alcohol that helps to moisturize and thicken products. The opposite to this would be something like a denatured alcohol, which is very drying. Sterile alcohol is the opposite, and this is actually really hydrating. This is a good one, even when you see alcohol. The next one is sodium bicarbonate, and this helps to neutralize odor and balance pH levels, which is amazing for deodorants. One thing to note is if you choose to go for a sensitive version of any of the Wild deodorants, they will miss out this ingredient. A lot of the times that people will report having a reaction can be down to this, because it's quite a powerful ingredient, which is amazing if your skin can tolerate it, but you need to be prepared that it may not work with your skin. For me, I'm fine with it, which is why I've continued to use it, and it really helps to pack a punch and not make me need anything like an antiperspirant. Next one is triethyl citrate, and this stops sweat from turning smelly by fighting odor-causing bacteria. It's just part and parcel. I'm here reporting. The next ingredient is sunflower wax, Helianthus anise seed sera, and this is brilliant for thickening the formula and protecting the skin. And I don't know why I'm mentioning all of these are the words that you see first off on the list, so just bear with me, and poor sod for doing this. Cocos nufera oil. This is so not easy to say. Cocos nucifera oil, and this is commonly known as coconut oil and may not be ever named that way, and you may never ever call it that way, but here we go. It's what it says on the ingredients list, so we're doing this justice. This helps to intensely nourish and hydrate the skin. The next ingredient is parfum, which is fragrance, and there can be a lot under this umbrella. Let me explain. So whenever a company puts parfum, they don't actually need to state what is under that umbrella. They don't need to state fragrance molecules that they use, what makes up their fragrance profile together. They will tell us in notes and things, but similar to fragrance, whenever you see this is in cleaning products at home, this is in laundry detergent, this is in fragrance, anything, they don't actually need to state exactly what is part of that formulation specifically for the fragrance. So it's a real gray area in the industry, and for those with very sensitized skin, or for those who are opposed to synthetic fragrance, just be warned when it comes to companies that don't state that it's from an essential oil source or a natural source. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with using synthetic fragrances. This is a discussion for another video. But what I would say is that the benefit of such things is reduced allergens, whereas essential oils obviously can pose more of a risk in that instance. So let's pause that and talk about that in another video. But moving on, let's go on to the next ingredient, shea butter. And this is called, I'm not even going to say this, this is shea butter. It's super moisturizing and it helps soothe dryness. The next ingredient is cocoa butter, and this is incredible for helping to soften the skin and to hydrate. Following that, we have magnesium hydroxide, and this helps to absorb moisture and neutralize sweat, which is perfect ingredient when it comes to deodorants. The next ingredient is zinc. This helps to tackle body odor by trapping the smell. So again, we're seeing a real amount where there's 3 ingredients so far that are tailored specifically for that bacteria that causes odor, but also helping to keep that area nice and dry. The next ingredient is tocopherol acetate, and this is commonly known as vitamin E. It's an incredible antioxidant that helps to smooth and protect the skin. The next ingredient is what helps, again, add a profile to the fragrance, hexyl cinnamol. And this is a floral scented ingredient. We didn't realize that it came from chamomile, so that's really cool. Next ingredient is sunflower oil, and this is incredible for the skin barrier. When we look at the underarms, this can be subject to high friction. It can also be subject to shaving or irritation. So anything that helps to protect the skin barrier is a win-win. So this is great to see that in the formula. Again, another ingredient that helps to add to that kind of floral, lovely fragrance, which is natural. And this one is called benzoyl salicylate. Benzoyl salicylate. This is not easy. And why this is in the ingredients list, because it helps to add a lovely fragrance note to the formula. We're on the last 2 here, so well done. The second to final ingredient is coumarin, which gives a warm, sweet vanilla-like scent. More about this controversial ingredient at the end of the video. And the final ingredient is one of my favorites when it comes to facial skincare. It's tocopherol, which is vitamin E in a natural form, and this helps to nourish and protect. I'm diving into each one. Each little part makes up that bigger picture, and these are all created to make sense, both for the brand, and in this case Wild, but also the consumer, in this case me and you. This is to keep it fresh, keep the formula replicable, and keep it consistent. Something I talk about when I'm consulting skincare or formulas with anyone online or in person, especially when they're concerned about certain ingredients, is I mention again that the ingredients list is written in order. So the most present ingredients in the formula will be listed at the top, and in the lowest concentration will be at the bottom. This is why even when there are certain ingredients that I'm not as fond of, or I wouldn't douse myself in, if it's at the very bottom, it's showing as minimal, and I'm happy with that. So if you enjoyed this video and you'd like more deep dives into the world of natural deodorant, or to even try a Wild product, you can use my 20% off link and discount code, which will be down below in the description and in the comments. And let me know as well what you would like me to investigate next, because this was a lot of fun looking into the ingredients from a different angle. And I do remember promising to talk about coumarin a little bit more. So let's dive into this just at the end of this video, but if not, I'll see you in the next one. So while this ingredient is commonly used in cosmetics for its sweet vanilla-like scent, it can pose some risks depending on its concentration and the individual sensitivity. I'm going to go into more detail into this. Number 1, it could be a potential allergen. Coumarin can cause skin irritation, especially for people with sensitive skin or with fragrance allergies. Symptoms might include redness, itching, or a rash. I really sound like a news presenter now. Or the Missy Elliott song. Symptoms have been said to be heavy breathing, loud coughing, dancing. So if you hear the sound, run for cover. If you know that reference, let me know down below. Or if you've seen Mean Girls, that's maybe where you've seen it from. Second risk is toxicity in high doses. And this is more of a concern for ingestion, but some people do worry about cumulative exposure through product. So something that you're using every single day. Again, this is if you see it much higher in the ingredients list. So something worth to look out for in the future. And the final is photosensitivity. Coumarin can make the skin more sensitive to UV light, which isn't so much of an issue when we're talking about our underarms, unless you're a frequent high fiver or you just don't care. If you get that reference as well, tell me below. So after all that, it could be a great reason for you to share this video with someone that you know loves vanilla, gourmand, or those rich scents that may or definitely have coumarin within it, because it is good to know these things. If you did like this video, remember, leave a comment, a thumbs up, or a hello, because it really does help grow my smaller channel. But something to celebrate, I hit over 1.3 million views just at the end of last year, and this is a huge win for me and my channel. So I will see you in the next one, and let me know what you would like to see next. Bye.